Again, our proposition is over here, opposition over there. Because this team is 4 against 3, the opening statement for the proposition will be a full 2 to 3 minute speech, during which the opposition may stand up to argue. After they've given their opening statement, that 2 to 3 minute speech, the opposition will give a brief 30-second opening statement. We'll continue with our speeches from there. Okay, are you ready?
I think Bath County Public School must require uniforms because it would stop bullying and getting picked on. It stops name calling, and people don't really like name calling. Yes.
So couldn't it increase bullying because they can't control what their uniforms look like, and if they look bad in that color, or they could get picked on for more physical features that they can't change?
I'm good to that right now. Students will have a better day with no stress. They wouldn't be worrying about what they look like because not only do they look like everybody else with the uniforms, they wouldn't have to worry about picking anything out. Yes.
But if a wealthier person would be able to buy more uniforms, but if a poor person would only wear one, so in 2 months it would just, the strings would start to come out and you could tell the difference between the wealthy and poor all over again.
They could go get more uniforms if that happened. But they would give the kids a positive attitude and not a negative attitude. It gives the students a positive attitude and makes the mornings easier, so excuse me. In the past, before I came here, I got picked on for something I wore. And it probably wouldn't have happened if they had to wear uniforms. And you don't really have a dress code because they picked out a certain length already for the uniforms. And kids wouldn't be able to wear expensive name brand clothes. So if they went to a friend's house, they wouldn't have to worry about one of their friends, like if they liked that outfit, they wouldn't have to worry about them stealing it. And it boosts the school spirit, like it would make them feel better during the day and they wouldn't really be having so much stress. And I think that's why Bath County Public Schools should have uniforms.
All right, we now have a brief opening statement from the opposition.
Bath County Public Schools must not change to the uniform policy because it limits expression, increases bullying and assaults on school grounds, and encourages discrimination. To ensure the education and safety of our students, Bath County Public Schools must not change to the uniform policy.
BCPS must require uniforms so that students they focus on their schoolwork instead of others, and because some students they don't focus on their work, they're just wondering like fixing their hair and their outfits and stuff, and sometimes they wonder if other students if their clothes looks better than theirs or not, and it can hurt their feelings, and that would cause them to be able to learn a lot more and provide for less distraction, less drama, and more of a focus on learning, says Hammonds. And students couldn't be made fun of anymore because they would all have the same thing on. Yes.
But if a student's body shape doesn't look good in the uniform, then they'll still look different and they can still get bullied for that, so it won't really make a difference.
And that's when students, they could go and they could tell teachers, and even though some students, they don't want to talk to teachers, and one of their friends could stay up for them. And students, if they're focusing on their own work, then during the school day, they don't have to be stressed about their work for when they get home, because they won't be focusing on other students, which will give them more time in school to be able to do their homework, so they won't have homework. And a lot of parents try their best to like get their students what they want, like the type of outfit they want, so that they're not bullied. But some parents they don't have enough money to afford good clothes, because some students they like to wear expensive clothing and some don't. And meanwhile, school administrators say uniforms help eliminate gang-related styles and logos as worked by. And my brothers, they wear the same thing every day so that they don't get bullied, and they're twins, and it's like they're wearing uniforms every day so that if one of them are getting bullied, then they can help stick up with each other, and that's what my mom, she always tells them. And when I was younger at my old school, we had uniforms, and there wasn't usually bullying there. That's why BCPS must require uniforms.
Bath County Public Schools must not change to uniform policies because it seriously limits expression. 90% of students that go to uniform policy schools dislike uniforms, causing them to dislike school even more than they already do. Most students don't like coming to school because it causes more stress, and this is putting more stress on them not being able to express themselves because they may be getting bullied from their more physical features that they can't change about themselves. In 3rd grade, I switched schools, and when I walked in the door, it took a lot of stress off my shoulders because I could see a little bit of everyone's personalities from what they were wearing, and so it took a lot of stress off of getting to know them because I already knew a little bit about each and every person. Since these students are having their rights taken away, since you have the right to expression in the First Amendment, then they should be having their views heard, since most of them don't like wearing uniforms. Yes.
Isn't one of the best ways to express yourself is actually talking to the person and showing your personality?
Yes, but what if they're very quiet and everyone just ignores them? My opponents always say that accessories are a great way to express yourself, but one girl got suspended just for wearing Tigger socks to school. She then sued the school, and most schools don't have the money for lawsuits in their slim budgets. This is also a financial burden to tax-paying parents sending their children to free public schools because they have to buy their casual clothes for when they're not in class and their uniforms for school. Even if the schools pay for their uniforms, then taxes would be raised to pay for these, and they'd still have to pay in a way. This is why Bath County must not change the uniform policies.
Bath County Public Schools should change to uniforms because it decreases the arguments you have with your family in the morning. I know from experience that if you can't find a certain shirt or a pair of pants, that you're going to get in an argument.
What if you only have one uniform and it's or it's getting lost or something, or you can't find it? Wouldn't that just increase arguments because you can't wear anything else but that uniform?
That is why I would buy a couple uniforms for 1 year. Yeah.
But what if the family doesn't have enough money to pay for more uniforms because they have to pay for other things?
Then the school would possibly help them with their cost. Nothing. There's no need to pick out an outfit because you're going to be wearing your uniform all week, and you won't need to pick out a uniform. The money that you save from not buying clothes all week, you can use to buy some nice clothes for parties you might have on evenings and weekends. Yes.
But wouldn't you have to buy clothes for when you're just at your house on weekends and things?
Yes, you can do that with the money that you save from not buying clothes all week. And there's no dress code because the school would have their uniforms to a certain length or a certain way that they would like them. And they're designed for seasons because why would you want to wear a spring uniform in winter? Because that would be very cold. $150 to $200 for an average family to get uniforms is Martin, and they're designed for everyday wear and repeated wash because you'd have to wear a uniform every day because that is the policy. And you'd have to to wash them pretty often, so you don't have to wear the same uniform for like 3 days in a row, because that's gross. Buying a few school uniforms instead of a whole wardrobe would be more economical, says Kuzmi. You would also get more sleep because you wouldn't have to wake up as early to pick out your clothes or go to sleep as late for picking out your clothes. And you would also buy a couple uniforms so you have backup uniforms in case you do forget to wash your uniform. It would affect me and my family because we like nice clothes, and my dad gets a pretty good pay, but my mom goes to college, so that's a pretty good amount of money. And we like nice clothes, so saving money. And that's why Bath County Public Schools should have to be.
Bath County Public Schools should not switch to uniform policies because it will cause more school shootings, assaults, and suicides. Yes.
Wouldn't it decrease the school shootings because you could tell a shooter different from the student?
Yeah, but if they got bullied before they come to school in their uniform. A study shows uniforms increase number of assaults by 14 per year in the most violent schools, says Procon Public. Everyone looks different in their size, and if you put them in a size that makes them look different, then they will get bullied for the way they look now. Bullying would disrupt learning and cause failing or even cause flunking out of school. 46% of high poverty schools have uniform policies because most poor parents can't afford to buy clothes for their kids. As of 6% of low poverty schools have uniform policies because most rich parents can't afford to buy clothes for it. If schools started paying for uniforms, taxes would go up, and the parents that didn't agree with the uniforms would get angry at the taxes. Yes.
What if the school saved a little bit of money every year to help with that?
Yeah, but they would spend more money on other things like, for playgrounds and stuff. I have my own experience because once I saw someone getting bullied, for the way he looked in his clothes, and I felt bad. And kids look different in certain colors. Like if someone likes black and people are used to seeing them in black, and you put them in a bright color, then they would get bullied for the way they look. And most kids already hate school because they get bullied. And if you introduce the uniforms, then kids will hate school even more. That is why Bath County Public Schools should not switch to uniform policy.
Bath County Public Schools must require students to wear uniforms because it decreases criminal activity around the school. Overall school crime decreased by 36%, and the police reports went down by 63% in and around the town. As Miguel said, they can't be bullied as much if someone is only singling out that one kid based on their clothes. And if everyone has the same clothes on, they can't do that anymore. So, yes.
But what if they bully people for physical features and you can't exactly change those?
They still would, but it helps with bullying because normally there's not one solution that can eliminate all aspects of the problem. Assault went down by 34%, fights went down by 51%, the police logs again went down by 63%, possession of weapons on school property went down by 50%, shootings went down by 12%, possession of drugs on school property went down by 69%, and sexual attacks went down by 74%. Robbery went down by 65%, and this happens because if a kid is being bullied based on their clothes, then if someone has really expensive clothes and they want some, then if they have a pool day like we do here and you have to switch into your swimming stuff, you leave your clothes in your locker and the kid who doesn't have them could just come and take it. And then they would have it and they wouldn't feel all upset. And the way this would be paid for is because some schools normally have a little bit of money left over. I know that sometimes you have to buy new things like desks, but if you have some money, you could just save it. So then if there's a parent or family who just doesn't have enough money for any uniforms at all, you could help them to get it so then their children could come to that school. So, and if they have uniforms, they might not steal, but they would just feel bad. And normally when you get bullied, emotions build up inside, like anger. So then that's why criminal activity decreases, because you don't have enough anger to actually have to release it out on anything. And that's why Bath County Public Schools must require students wear uniforms.
Bath County Public Schools must not require uniforms because it is a public school. And public schools are open to many different students of many different religions. And some religions require you have to wear certain clothes for it. And if they switch to uniforms, then they wouldn't be able to wear the uniforms that fit their religion. This would force kids to have to switch schools or be homeschooled. Some kids cannot be homeschooled because their parents have to work and cannot teach them at home. And a late satirist named George Carlin said, "Don't these schools do enough damage making all these children think alike? Now they're gonna make them look alike too." And another thing, now that it's 2018, many kids feel comfortable to come out as transgender. And some kids may not, or some schools may not offer gender neutral uniforms. And a 16-year-old transgender boy named Seamus said, "Sitting in a blouse and skirt all day made me feel insanely anxious. I wasn't taken seriously. This is damaging to a young person's mental health. Those uniforms nearly destroyed me." School is supposed to be an escape. It's not supposed to be the main source of people's pain. So if schools were to enforce uniforms, this might cause more things like depression because they can't be themselves in their uniforms. Uniforms may not fit kids the way they want them to fit. Like if the biggest size doesn't come big enough and the small size doesn't come small enough, then they can still get bullied for that, and some kids may not have the money to get their uniforms hemmed or to fit them. This will force kids to show off their insecurities, and kids should not be forced to show off insecurities that they're not comfortable with showing. This might cause kids to stop eating. Yes?
What if their clothes are like all ripped and then the school doesn't allow that?
If the school doesn't allow that, then they could just switch them to the office like they do here if your clothes don't match the dress policy, and they could get a pair of pants, or they could call their parents and their parents may bring them some pants. This might cause kids to stop eating, and not eating can cause serious things like anorexia or in serious cases death. And this would cause kids to be distracted in classes with bullying because of their physical features. And if they're distracted with bullying in classes, then wouldn't that make their grades go down? This might also cause kids to start committing more suicide if they get bullied for their physical features. If they cannot change their physical features, then this would cause them to have more stress, and they shouldn't be more stressed out than they already are. This is why Bath County Public Schools must not change to the uniform policy, because it increases discrimination that our world is already filled with.
We now have a closing statement from the proposition.
Now, as you can tell, Bath County Public Schools must require that students wear uniforms because they are cheaper, increase crime rate, lower bullying rate, and improve student academic achievement. When parents think of student uniforms, they will think of smart, professional, and achieving students. When students have uniforms, they will more likely go to college and be able to get a good job. That's why we think that Bath County Public Schools must require uniforms.
And our closing statement from the opposition.
As you can see, we must not change to uniform policies. It is the only option to keep our school environment safe and happy. Switching to uniform policies will only increase our problems, not solve them. Thank you for your time.